Many of those who just clicked on this video are probably either new players to Cycle Frontier or you've just heard about it for the first time. This video is going to talk about what to do when you first download the game, when you start up, and how to go through and work through the tutorials, as well as I talk about and actually show you what your first raid is going to look like and what you want to look out for. Apart from that, I'm basically trying to create this tutorial to make everything less confusing for a beginner player, to help the community with player retention, because right now we have almost a pandemic of new players leaving because things aren't as easy as they seem. And this video talks about the beginnings, what to do, how to do them, and if you enjoy, I really would appreciate you liking, commenting, and if you are ever so generous, possibly subscribing. Now, this video has very limited descriptions of things because there's so much to do when you're a beginner that I just wanted to cover it and sort of break it down a little bit for you guys so it's a little bit easier. But if there aren't any topics that you need more assistance with that are in the early game, by all means, post those questions or comments down below and I can get to them and answer them. I look at all the comments because there aren't very many, so yeah, if you guys do have any questions, I will answer them 100%, but let's get straight into the gameplay and tutorial, actually, I guess. Yeah. Let's get into the tutorial. Okay, quick note, if you guys haven't noticed already, there are timestamps posted in the description as well as on the little slider wheel. So yeah, now we're going to get into things, so I hope you guys enjoy. Today I'm going to give you guys essentially a complete beginner walkthrough of the beginning of Cycle Frontier. I'm going to be explaining roughly in as good enough detail as possible what everything is and how to get started in this game, because I know it is a lot of it's a lot of work and it's very hard for many new players when they're first starting this game. So I want to give this video to you guys so that it provides you some insight as to what you can do. So first off, the license agreement, yeah, you just click, say you've read it, and you get on with it. Now let's wait for this to load. Now I'm showing absolutely everything. This is going to be one take, fully uncut. Yeah, fully uncut, so that you guys can fully see what happens and how things work. So right now, we're dropping in. This is, in a way, your tutorial. Oh, my recording is lagging.
Decent simulation of it anyways.
Yeah,
so sim will let you get acquainted with
this is a guide,
surface,
essentially.
risk-free.
This
As a
tutorial shows
prospector,
you
you'll spend your
what
days
you
scavenging
do.
through Fortuna 3's old colony
I'm
sites
actually
for
going to
resources.
mute the
Retrieve
dialogue.
exotic samples, or just shoot up.
Okay, so I can give you guys my take on everything. So first off, in the top left of your screen, you're going to see a few keyboard commands for various items in game. So M is your map. It'll give you a full view of the map of the area you're in. So as you see here, we're in the swamp camp. This drop pod location is your spawn, and your main extraction point is this guy right here. So as you can see, we're gonna be ending up extracting southwest collection point. Now the next is your inventory. So whenever you go into a raid, you have the gear you bring in, but for this purpose you're gonna be given some stuff, and this is what they give you. Next is your objectives. As you saw earlier, I did this. So this is your jobs that they give you for completing the tutorial. So we're just going to go ahead and get it. It's normal basic controls when it comes to many first-person shooter games. So spacebar is jump, right click is aim down sights, left click is shoot, crouch is C. I have it bound on my mouse button as well. Oh, one thing to note is you do have two rotating wheels for items. So if you hit Q, you get access to your pickaxe, which you can use to harvest material. I'll show you that in a sec. Binoculars, which you can use to zoom in on things and spot out enemies. You also have your flashlight, so when things get dark, you can left click with this sucker out and turn it on, and it'll give you some lighting. Very nice and useful tool. And last thing is mineral scanner. Now this will show you if there's minerals in the area, and as you can see, it's getting pings over there. So yeah, the other rotating wheel is your combat wheel, what I like to call it. So if you have stimulants, these heal you. These give you health. I'm not going to use it. The stims heal you for HP. Grenades deal damage when you throw them. Smoke obviously smokes on the area. Light grenade just does a light amount of damage. So now we are going to continue on with the tutorial. So as a beginner, you're just going to want to run through, shoot a couple of creatures, and as you can see, a job gets done. Now, when you're running through Cycle Frontier, and I'm actually going to do it later, I'm just going to quickly complete this quest instead. So it doesn't actually give you everything. It doesn't hand you what you need to finish, but it tells you here. So hit G and it'll say acquire nickel, check around for loot. So as you can see, it actually does give it to you, but if you want to finish it really fast, you can, oh yeah, nice. I forgot about this. So it's, now it's giving you some more gear. Hold Q to get your mineral scanner, you scan it, scan materials, and you go and collect them. Switch back to the pickaxe. You can actually melee these, so if you hit V, it'll pull out your sword, and you hold down left click like this, and you one hit those guys. There are a harder version of them that are more white, and those guys you cannot one hit melee. But this ore right here, this is nickel, so we're going to hit this with our pickaxe and grab us some nickel. We got one there. This is velicite. It's a bit more purple, as you can see. Flood velicite, clear velicite. We're just gonna take all this. Take all the goodies. Moving up here, I think there's some nickel up here. And if you guys don't want to just run around and look, you can pull out your mineral scanner and just scan for stuff. So as you can see, there we go. More nickel. Hit this up, and grab it, and just like that, we have finished that one. So now it's telling us to press inventory and drag this stuff into our secure pocket. So this is similar to Tarkov. In Tarkov, you have a secure container. In this, you have secure pockets. Now it's telling us to open up map. Yeah, go to extract. What else do we need? Acquire compound sheets. So it's just telling us to go to this place and acquire some materials. We're going to do that real quick, and then be done. This gun is the best gun in the game. I don't know if you get to keep it after the tutorial. I think the tutorial is just like a basically showing you how to loot and shoot. One thing I will say for all the new and beginner players out there, be conscientious of your stamina bar. It's the little yellow bar that slowly depletes when you run at the bottom. This essentially... What the heck? Why is this? Oh. This is, oh, it's telling us to just go to Evac position. I'm gonna get some compound sheets though. Okay, so here I'm dropping things so I can pick up more. I'm just dropping stuff so I can pick up this backpack that this guy has. I didn't notice that you can actually get this stuff, but there you go. Just as you saw, I sort of went through the looting stuff. You can actually pick up and stack backpacks. It's similar to Tarkov, but different in that the backpacks that you pick up, you can actually store. So, oh, why is it telling us to go up here? Again, your first raid, you're just gonna follow this little dot around and it'll tell you where to go and what to grab. Whenever you're looting this game, things will be highlighted that you can loot. And essentially, that's like your best way to know when something's lootable or not, is if it has an outline on it. So what I just did is I call in my evac ship, you hold Y, and it'll call it in. If you are standing in the circle of lights, you see these little lights, if you're standing inside this area of lights, the ship, when it comes in, will actually crush you. Now, in this game, the evac ships are very, very, very predictable. As you can see, they come in a certain direction almost every time, and they'll land here, and then it gives about 30 seconds before you're able to actually board it and evac. So the more experienced players will be able to know where you're evacing from and when or how much longer they have to get to you to kill you. So it's not like Tarkov, you don't just stand there for 8 seconds when you're done. The evacing is around a minute process, so you're not safe the whole time you do it. One thing you can do is use these suckers. Grab a smoke nade, pop it on the ship, and wait for it to pop. The top purple bar, you can see above the ship is ready to evac, is how long it takes for the ship to evac up. And there we go. First evac is now successful. So hopefully you guys were able to follow along with that. I'm sorry if it was a bit too fast paced, but as you saw, because it was a tutorial, you don't get any of the loot that was shown. It was just sort of a mock thing. So after you do your first drop pod mission, you will be able to select your character. This is moddable within the game itself, so the first character that you select isn't the one that you have to stick with. You can change it. For the sakes of this, I'm just gonna go with this dude, Libra, or Lynx. Let's go with Lynx. Hitboxes in this game are they're uniform. It doesn't change, even if the stature of the men to the women is different. It doesn't change. The hitboxes are the same, so you don't actually get an advantage with selecting a female character over a male, other than the appearance of being smaller. So that is the other thing. This game does have daily login rewards. They don't they don't stack, so you can miss a day and then it'll just add on another day the next time you come in. But they're very, very nice to get when you're just starting off the game, and especially if you're a casual player. It's just a little bit of extra loot to boost you. Now, this is where things might get a little overwhelming if you haven't watched this video and you decided to just jump into this game without any context. So first off, this is the station. The station is your sanctuary, so to speak, when it comes to being safe from other players, whether and like PvP, PvE. As you can see, there are other people in here, so it has a multiplayer aspect to it. So you can see other characters running around and hanging out. And there's no VoIP in here, so you can't actually talk to people. But essentially, we're going to walk through the normal tutorial with you guys and just give you guys a bit of a better explanation if you don't want to read all the dialogue and listen to the guys that they have. So it's telling me to speak to all three factions. There are three factions. There's Korolev, this guy, orange industrial guy. They do a lot of industrial stuff, so the quests that you get will be industrial related, but I'll talk about quests later. But anyways, there's Korolev. There's ICA over there. You can see the ICA sign, the little blue sign spinning right above my head. And then there's Osiris at the other indicator over there. But first, we're just going to start with Korolev. So you go up to him, you talk to him, and you accept your first mission, which is time to punch in. Now, I'm not going to do any quest walk tutorials in this video. I'm just going to be giving you guys the basics of how to get in to raids, what to do, and basically make the whole process a bit less confusing and a bit less overwhelming. Next, we are going to head to ICA. Now, after I'm done this whole tutorial, or the run through of talking to all the factions, there's a few things that I'm going to explain to you guys just so that you can get a good handle on the game and understand its progression system and sort of how you want to orient yourself. So again, we're just going around collecting all of your first missions that you're going to have to do, speaking to Korolev, that guy, ICA this guy, or that girl, and then this is Osiris, and this guy will be important. I did come to him last because there is something I want to talk about now, which is right over here in the Osiris market. Oh, I have to finish the task. Never mind. We will finish the tasks and then come back to the Osiris market to talk about, to discuss the importance of Osiris. So after you talk with him, you gain a whole bunch of inventory stuff, and essentially this is just a whole bunch of starter weapons, armor, and these K marks or crypto marks. This is the currency. You also get some insurance tokens, and we'll get to insurance. I promise we're going to cover every basic thing that you're going to need to do before you load in for your first time, and it includes doing all these quests. Now he just tells you to open up your inventory and equip a kit. So we're just going to equip a whole bunch of stuff here, equip a gun, get some ammo for it, and then it'll tell you get some meds and grenades. And oh, it tells you to take in mineral scanners. I'm going to talk about that in a bit. He's telling us to deploy to Fortuna 2. We're not going to do that. If we don't have to, we're not going to do that. I'm going to go check to see if we can discuss Osiris and the importance of the questing in this game first before I actually load into a raid. So, okay, here we go. So Osiris, I say, is important because in this game we have consumables, and I showed you guys those earlier with the combat stems. But when you first start playing the game, you're only going to have access to weak stims and weak medkits. Now this really hinders your PvP capability because, as you can see, it's an immediate, quote-unquote, immediate 15 health boost. That's a lie. This stim not only heals you for the lowest amount of health, but it also heals you the slowest out of the other two combat stems. So you have the weak stem, the strong stem, and the combat stem. This one gives you 30, and it, I don't know the exact time to consume it really is, but it gives you 30 HP in a relatively short period of time. This one gives you 25 HP in a short amount of time, and this one gives you 15 HP in quite a long period of time. So the first thing that you guys are going to want to do is work on Osiris quests. So this guy right here, when you go and hit F on him, go to campaign, these are quests. You're going to want to do all of these for Core Love first. Now, there is an infographic from Tickle Me Pink that I will post in the description of this video, or I might just edit it in right here. But essentially, what it shows is not only the quests you need to complete to get green stems, but it also shows you the items that you need to acquire in order to get green stems unlocked. And that's really your first goal. If you're going to focus on anything, focus on getting green stems. They're really going to help you in your PvE and PvP performance. But now that I've talked about Osiris, I'm going to show you guys one more thing. So from these guys, each faction actually sells its own individual weapons. So you can't buy Osiris weapons from Korolov or Korolov weapons from ICA. Essentially, the first one you're going to unlock is a Scarab, is a 3-round burst pistol, and then the next is Manticore. This one's a good beginner gun to start running, but I'm going to let you guys discover the rest of them because by that point you won't even need this video to understand how to play the game. But I wanted to show you guys that each faction does in fact have its own weapons that you can buy from it. Now the ammo, the armor, the tools, and the attachments are all going to be relatively the same. Some of the other ones will have different attachments, or actually I believe attachments are all the same, but when it comes to tools, I believe the tools change. So as you can see in Osiris, we come to tools, they're actually the same. But utilities, you see this data drive. This data drive wasn't available in Osiris, so there are some slight differences, but the main difference is the weapons that you will be able to purchase from each of the vendors. As you can see, these are the ICA weapons. And like I said, I'm gonna let you guys discover them on your own. I don't want to take away from that exciting part of the game where you get to learn about guns and gear and all that stuff. Okay, so gear printer, I guess we'll get to after the first deployment. But yeah, I'll show you what that is. Down here, you have the general quick shop. Now there is no faction weapons, so you buy all the white weapons here. You also buy backpacks, you can buy all your ammo, armor, you can buy weak stims and some consumables here, mineral scanner of course, and all the attachments that you'd want. So, now I'm going to talk about inventory. Inventory, as you can see down in this bottom tab here, you can actually sort it by hitting X. So I like to sort by rarity, so that I know what I'm looking at first is going to be my best gear possible. There are no attachments here, as you can see, but if you hover over a gun and hit middle mouse click, it'll allow you to modify your weapons. So before your first deployment, you're going to want to grab some weapons for your Manticores or your trench guns or PDWs. I don't recommend running the pistols in this game. If you run into another player, they're not going to do much against them. And that's just the way it is. So if you go to the attachments here, it'll tell you this little all that's right here tells you what weapons it can be attached to. So this can be attached to every single weapon. The symbol for the arrows back and forth, that reduces recoil. The double arrow in one direction increases reload speed. The gear is a time to equip. And then I believe some of them what's the aim down sights? Yes. So this sort of reticle is reducing aim down sight time. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I typically buy from top to bottom. I do an angled foregrip. Because I have an AR, it takes medium ammo. So you're going to want a medium ammo quick draw. I like the 2x optic. It's just preference. I'm not going to get an ergonomic grip because I don't have a secondary to switch to, so it's not that big of a deal. I'm going to get the standard stock to help reduce even more recoil, and then a medium muzzle brake to help reduce even more recoil, and then finishing off with a tactical rear grip to improve my aim down sights time. So with all of that done, a middle mouse click, and then the nice part about this game is if you right click on all of these, it automatically equips it. So as you can see, the main attachment you can normally notice when it's equipped is the optic. So now that is all equipped and I'm satisfied with the gear that I'm bringing in, you don't have much choice in the beginning, unfortunately, but now that I got all that, I showed you guys that, I'm going to deploy in so I can continue discussing the other things. So here is this is an important screen. So this is the insurance screen. Now it's not like Tarkov in the sense that you get your items back. It has two separate kinds of insurance. The gear salvage is Tarkov-like insurance. So what you can do is you can put this in here, pay Aurum, so this is the pay currency, this is real money currency, or insurance tokens. These are the ones that are given to you. This slider at the bottom tells you which one you use to pay. I never use this sort of gear salvage because if an enemy player picks it up, I don't get it back. However, standard insurance is what I use most of the time, because as you can see right here, it says max payout. So it doesn't give you the weapon back, but it pays you for the weapon, and it costs a reduced price to actually insure. So if you survive 3 or 4 raids with this stuff and then you die with it, not only do you get all the money you made from the raids, but you also get money from your insurance. So to insure things, there's no like insure all button or whatever. You just put your items you want to insure into the insurance little box here and you hit continue with. So as you can see, this blue little check mark, that means my stuff is insured, and this tells you over here the payout you would get if you lost it. So now there's only one thing to do, and that's to hit deploy. So we're going to get in to our first landing and sort of our first raid. Sorry, I've been talking so much, and I'm sure it's all overwhelming, but it's very important that as a new beginner, you get your hands on the game, understand and be comfortable with it, because at the moment, a lot of new players that are coming to Cycle Frontier are getting discouraged by cheaters and other good players, but personally I haven't had any cheater problems. So hold left alt to, it's just basically it's going to run you through the player to player interaction column. So T is push to talk, the scroll wheel is voice commands, M is your minimap like I told you guys earlier, but this time we actually have some missions to do. So we need to get some nickel, compound sheets, and we need to hunt a strider. So striders are these guys. These are striders, so we need to hunt one. If you want to do it silently so another player knows you're there, you pull out your knife and then bop them, just like that. Pick up the spinal bases, and yeah. So your first raid, you're almost guaranteed to not run into other players. These are called virgin raids, so only other new players will be in the raid with you. So for me, I'm technically a smurf, but I am doing this for the purposes of education and to inform you guys of what to do. So right there is something that you guys are going to need to learn about. Those birds indicate where a player is. So you spook the birds, and everyone on the server can see them and hear them. So if you see birds, so say if there are birds flying over there right now, I would know that there's another player over there. Animals can't actually spook birds. So these rattlers, this is a rattler. I'll show you guys how to kill them. Just take one shot of it, get its attention, and then shoot its belly right here. Just like that. I just realized this is going to be really loud audio, me shooting. So I'll try to keep it to a minimal, or actually I'll just turn down my in-game audio for you guys so that you can hear me talk a bit more, and you don't have to hear so much of the other stuff. Okay, so that little rocket noise and that stream right there is telling me another player is loaded into the raid. If you see that, it means another player is loaded in over there. You can look at your character's direction on the map and point a line, so I know that this person spawned in about this area. Most spawns in this game are going to be around the edge of the map. It's very rare that you get spawns on the inner ring sort of the map. This is the inner ring. What I mean is this road that you can see me outlining that goes between all the points of interest. This is the inner ring. This is where a lot of your PvP is going to take place. And yeah, it's just a lot of PvP in this area. A lot of the quest items you're going to need are on the outer ring. Sometimes inner, but most of the times it's the outer ring. So yeah, it's telling me to find an evac location. I'm not going to. I'm actually going to finish my quest by collecting compound sheets and delivering nickel. So this is what I recommend. These are compound sheets. So just like that, we got another one. Okay. So as you can see, another player just loaded in. So just like that. Easy enough. You can take him down. And another player just loaded in. Okay. So maybe I will get out of this raid because I don't want to kill anyone. I don't want to be a meanie. It would be unfair if I did. So we're just going to head over to Waterfall. There's nickel over there. So these, like I said, things that glow, you can loot them. Just like that. Looting some armor, looting some other items. And just like that, we are going to run over to our extract. Another player. another player. There's lots of players letting in. So this map can have a maximum of 16 players on it, and I think we are actually at that maximum. So this is Velasite. Just for the purpose of making money, I'm going to hit this and mine it. My backpack's full. What should I drop? I'll drop this armor. There. So now I'm going to run over to our extract. After you complete your first mission or sort of raid or whatever you want to call it, in Bright Sands, this map is Bright Sands, you will not actually get these prompts for your evac. So it's only because we are running a fresh quest and a fresh account that we are actually getting these evac prompts, but they will remain on your map. So don't worry about losing them and not knowing where to extract from. They'll remain on your map, but they won't remain on your UI. Animals in this game, you can't actually just run past them. So they may aggro at you, but you don't have to shoot them. You can just run. Just like this. Just run along and they won't be bothered by you. Just like that. They unaggro. So all creatures have an aggro range. Aggro meaning aggression range. And if you run outside of their aggro, they will stop following you. So if you're ever in a pickle and you don't know what to do, you can just run away. And you don't have to worry about it. Look, there's a player in here. Hello? I thought I heard someone. No? No one? Okay. So yeah, we're just looking for some nickel right now. Well, like, as you can see, if you hover over something that's lootable, it'll give you a description. It'll let you know that you can loot it and pick it up. Yeah, so these are... There's also sort of uniform containers across the map that'll spawn. These little red ones are for meds. Those spawn in various buildings and whatnot. They allow you to collect them. But until we find some nickel, I'm not actually going to leave. I'm going to stay in this one. If you guys are getting nervous on your first run-in, and you like hear someone and you don't know whether to shoot at them or not, try to talk to them. Say, hey man, what's up? Tell them that T is push to talk. Get yourself interacting with them to try to reduce the likelihood of a player-on-player fatality. It's always an unfortunate occurrence when early or new players hinder other new players' progression. Someone's actually been here. Okay, so that thunder is a storm. And I'm just going to... Wait. Someone's extracting. I heard a manticore shooting. Someone came through here. And like looted like they knew what they were doing. So it's unlikely that you'll run into someone who's really knowing what they're doing. If you run into a Tarkov player, they might be a bit of a threat. A lot of Tarkov players assume that they know what's going on in this game. I was one of those people. I thought I could just run around willy-nilly and shoot people and get away with it. That's not the case. So play a little bit withdrawed, you know. Don't be too afraid of people. Don't be overly cautious, but be respectful of people's capabilities in this game. You can very quickly get humbled by someone that you think is worse than you just because their gear is worse. But that's not always the case. There are players in this game that are incredible and that are quite skilled, even though it may not appear like it. So the storm in this game is those clouds right there. Those clouds will slowly encroach into the middle of the map, and when they do, it basically turns super dark. It won't allow you to extract, but the sort of indicator to the storm is little raindrops. So if you stay in a raid long enough, it'll start raining, and you'll get these little raindrops. And then after, I think, 20... Oh, fuck. Oh my god. So I think that dude didn't know what he was doing. Right there. Okay, that was scary. Yeah, it's proximity. Oh, I was close to a guy. Interesting. So at the end of your raids, you guys are going to get these screens. It'll tell you if your proximity means you were close to someone. So I was close to some guy. I think that was when I went to the cave. So I did see someone. I wasn't just losing it. And then damage received. Obviously, if someone like that guy threw a grenade at me, almost killed me. So yeah. These will basically just give you a breakdown of what time something happened, who the interaction was with, the damage received or damage given, I guess, and how much. Also, socials. So if you're going to report someone, this is where you do it. That guy knew what he was doing. I'm not going to report him. It should have been a virgin raid, which means no one who was experienced should have been in that lobby. I mean, I was in it because this is a new account, but that's besides the point. So now that you've done your first raid, you've successfully extracted, you are back in the station, you can complete your sort of initiation mission. Faction HQ, complete your mission. Oh, okay. So it's basically, ideally, after your first raid, you're going to finish one of those first missions with either ICA, Korolov, or Osiris, and then it's just going to ask you to turn it in. So just like that, you get your mission rewards, and then it tells you to go to the faction market, so we're going to do that. Select the sell tab. It's going to ask us to sell something. We'll sell this. Yeah, no refunds, so. Okay, I guess this actually gives me a good opportunity to explain something. So in order to level up your traders to buy better guns, you can complete quests. You can complete jobs. So jobs are sort of like quests, but they're just a little bit less rewarding. And then lastly, you can sell to them. So if you sell items to them, for example, it'll give you 5 XP. So this little symbol is experience, and then it'll give you 500 K marks. So now you guys know and understand selling. I'm just going to sell these pistols and this trench gun. It'll get me some XP, and it'll get me some money. So these right here are scripts. Now scripts are used for hideout or quarters upgrades, as they're called in this game. And they basically allow you to improve passives. So as you can see, I picked up an item, some lily weeds. Yeah, there's a lot of pop-ups when you level things up. It'll tell you what things you've unlocked and whatnot. So yeah, your jobs, even if you're in the station, you can hit G and it'll tell you them. But the scripts are for hideout upgrades. So I believe we return to Bandom, and then we go into our hideout, which is in there. And I'll show you guys sort of the gist of all that. So say got it, go to public gear printer. So this is the gear printer. We'll get back to the quarters. We're just going to go along with what he's telling us, but I'm going to go into a bit more depth so you're not completely out of it. So the gear printer is where you do crafting. So you can craft different items in this area. You can craft backpacks and a whole bunch of other things. You can craft the tip-top best weapons possible in the game. You can craft explosives and medication, like stims and grenades in here. You can craft any type of armor in here, except for forge. I'm not going to get into that. That's a bit more advanced. You can craft attachments, upgraded attachments, muzzles, optics, more attachments, attachments, and then materials. So you can actually craft some materials in here, and you can use those for the crafting of other items. These items or materials that you can craft here can be used in upgrades or other crafting, whether it be attachments or armors, that sort of thing. So the other tab on here is the repair tab. So if you damage your armor, and armor does have durability in this game, you can actually repair it. So if you go to this repair tab, and you can repair your armor. Otherwise, it will just tell you if you've repaired all your armor, there won't be anything to repair, and there won't be anything to do here. So it's telling me to print a medium backpack, which I'll do. And just like that, you can skip crafting for the purpose of this, to speed things up. I'm just going to finish crafting and skip it, pay some Aurum to skip it, and then now we can get to quarters. So I hope you guys understood the gear printer. It's very basic. Essentially, you can craft better gear, better items, but you have to collect the items in a raid in order to craft them. It's not just a monetary value, it's actual items that you need. And yeah, so these are your quarters. So in the quarters, you don't have many things you can actually interact with except for the generators and delivery station and your sort of upgrades area. So in the quarters upgrades, as you can see, there's generators, inventory, gear printer. So under generators, this is going to be your, well, you can just read it here. So this line of upgrades is your K-Marks generator rate. This one is the cap of storage for the generator. This one's Aurum, so an Aurum generator. This one's capacity for the Aurum generator. And then the last one is supply crate upgrades. So I'm going to upgrade this one. I'm just going to skip it. And then I've now constructed my first upgrade in my quarters. So you hit escape, you go back to this page, and here is the quarter upgrade level. So in order to get further along these tech trees, you actually have to upgrade your quarters as a whole. Now, it may sound confusing at first, but essentially what it is you need to upgrade any of these 11 times, whether it's in generator, inventory, or gear printer, in order to unlock the ability to upgrade this quarters. And then this will allow you to upgrade more of these, and then these will allow you to upgrade this again, and then back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Inventory is a really big one. This one allows you to increase your stash size. So it's not like Tarkov, you don't just buy the game and you get a set amount and that's it. That's all you get. There's no containers in this, so you can't expand the inventory. The only way to expand it is by doing these upgrades. The other nice thing is that you can actually expand your safe pocket capacity. So the safe pocket, if you guys don't remember, is these little slots down here. You can expand these by upgrading your quarters. Now we're just going to offload all this stuff. Yeah, so these safe pockets, you can actually increase the size of them by going along this sort of tech tree, and as you can see, it requires level 10 for Prospector Quarters to upgrade for this set. And yeah, last but not least is the gear printer on here. This basically has reduced the quarter upgrade times. It's really not that big a deal if you're going to be skipping most of your upgrades, but once you get into the larger upgrades, skipping will be very expensive. Over here, this is your generators and delivery stations. So as you can see, you get supply crates, Just a basic supply crate. Gives you some items. As you can see, when you first start, this is what your supply crate will give you, or has a chance of giving you. The next on here is insurance packages. So if you die, this is where you get your insurance payout, is right here. You can collect it. Special deliveries. So this game has a very unique feature in that if you die to a cheater or to a glitch, or you die to someone who's using an exploit of some sorts, you will get all of your gear back if you report the person and it turns out they're cheating or exploiting or whatever. You'll end up getting all of your gear back, and it can be collected here. You're going to get the insurance from it if you've insured it, but then it will also give it back to you. So that's a very, very nice feature that they've implemented, and it's saved me a couple times. I have died to exploiters and cheaters, but yeah. And then Twitch drops. So if there's any Twitch events going on, you can claim your Twitch drops here, and that's very nice. But essentially, yeah, this is it when it comes to your quarters. It's very basic. You can sort of hang out in here, do whatever, but yeah, all you're really going to be focusing on is delivery station and your upgrades. So we are going to go and hand in our civic duty. Actually, no. You guys understand, I'm sure, but I will do it again, actually. The handing in of quests. So if there's quests that you have to hand in, you go, you hit claim. Tells you you've accomplished your mission, did a good job. It'll give you rewards, and then it'll give you a new quest to do. And then you collect these items, and then you hand it in and rinse and repeat. In this game, the best way to actually make money is by completing your quests. You make money very fast by completing these quests, especially in the beginning and the end. Jobs don't earn you as much. They can once you unlock really, really high ones. But as a beginner player, you're going to be focusing mainly on the quests and not so much the jobs. And now, seeing as we've completed all of the sort of introduction quests, I'm going to show you guys the last two things in the station that I haven't shown you before. And then we're going to talk about a few deployment things, and then I'm going to wrap it up. So here's the Fortuna Pass. As you can see, it's sort of like a typical battle pass that you'd see in Battle Royale games. There's consumables, there's crates that give you gear, there's skins or that you can sort of deck out your gear with. You can skin a whole bunch of stuff. You can get operator skins. So if you go up to your character in this tab, you actually customize down at the bottom your base suit, your melee weapon, as well as what you care to. Sorry, apologize. You can also change what your character looks like. You can change your banners, emotes that you have selected, hollow sprays or sprays that you have, as well as you can customize your drop pod. So there's a lot of customization in this game. You can really make it your own, and I think it has a nice twist. So like you can see this, you can get some cool banners. You can't get some actual in-game items and consumables through all these, and at the very end, you know, you get really nice cosmetics, really nice melee weapons, nice fun emotes, and yeah, so that's the Fortuna Pass. If you're looking at seriously playing this game, I'd recommend you pick it up. It's really worth your money. And what not a lot of people know is that the Fortuna Pass, they do seasons. So season 2, there's 79 days remaining. And what this means, similar to Tarkov, so Tarkov has wipes, but this game also has wipes. So at the end of these 79 days, our inventories and all of our missions and our quarters upgrades will all wipe. So we'll keep all of our consumables and all that sort of thing. Or not consumables, but all of our cosmetics, we'll keep those. But it basically lets you start fresh. So even if you start a wipe late, you know, it'll give you experience so that by the time the next one starts, you're going to be on level playing ground with absolutely everyone else. And yeah, it'll just allow for a little bit more fun. So yeah, now that you guys understand the wipe system, the last thing I'm going to cover is this guy over here, Windfall's Shop. So this, you can actually access it in the top. But yeah, essentially it's just a shop where you can buy super cool cosmetics like this. Some of the cosmetics in this game are absolutely mind-blowing. Some very, very, very cool cosmetics that I've enjoyed. As you can see, drop pods, characters, skins, melee weapons, some machetes, gun skins, like a lot of other games, sprays, yeah, emotes, and then I guess there's a charm, I think, yeah, and charms. So yeah, I'd like to think I've covered everything. Bundles, these are some of the bundles you can buy for the game. If you're wanting to keep it free to play, you don't have to bother buying those. They don't give you too much. Aurum, if you want to buy cosmetics, you can buy some Aurum to buy those. But I think I have covered pretty much everything there is that you need to know as a beginner. I'm hoping that in my deployment, in my raid, I explain things enough to give you guys a good enough understanding of what to do as a walkthrough. I am going to be doing a beginner series walkthrough of, some sort, I think. I'm probably going to do it based on the feedback I get from this video if you've gotten this far. So obviously, actually, I'm going to include this in an intro. But the last thing I'll talk about is just the maps. So there's 3 maps: Bright Sands, Crescent Falls, and Theris Island. These are unlocked by completing faction missions. So if you're a beginner, by the time you unlock these, you'll know what you're doing relatively well. So you won't have to worry about them. But the best thing I can recommend, don't play alone. Play with a buddy. Play with 2 buddies. There's a lot of good Discords out there. I'm going to link the official Cycle Frontier Discord down below. There's people in there that you can meet up with and play and just say, hey, I'm a beginner, I need to learn some stuff. And there'll be people willing to help you out. The community is incredible. A lot of people are willing to teach you and let you learn to, sort of, they'll give you the ropes if this video hasn't done a good enough job of it. Obviously, there's a lot of things I didn't cover that are slightly more advanced, but I wanted to cover the very basic side of what this game is, and hopefully make it less confusing when you're coming out of a raid, and you have to, when you come out of a raid, you have to go into your inventory and actually offload everything you got. So those sort of things, I wanted to be able to show that. It's similar to Tarkov in some senses, but it also has enough differences that it's worth talking about. The stash or back inventory is different, all that sort of thing. So I'm going to end it there. I think, oh wait, what does this say? What does it say? Onboarding finished. Okay, whatever. Anyways, yeah, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys enjoy this video, consider subscribing, sending me a like. I'd really appreciate feedback in the comments, so if you guys send a comment, that would be great. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this and you want more on a bit more of the advanced aspects of the game, maybe talking about pathing or PvP, PvE, stuff like that, then let me know. I'm more than inclined to do these sort of tutorial videos for you guys. Anything that can help out the beginner player base to make sure players stick around, I will be more than willing to do. So yeah, if you enjoyed, like I said, consider subscribing, giving a like, giving a comment. But without further ado, I'm going to head off and let you guys get back on with your day. Enjoy, and take care, gentlemen and ladies. Take care. Take care. All right.